happening today, people of the internet? Welcome back. Today we are going to be starting a brand new series called Pros and Cons. Not only am I starting this series because I feel as though it's a more efficient method to getting my little review across, but it also keeps the video short and sweet. And I have less of a chance of messing with YouTube's new policy on swearing. Today we are going to be reviewing Death Note. Actually, not this one. I'm, of course, talking about the Netflix original American iteration of the popular Shonen Jump manga and anime. So, we're going to start off with the pros. Pros being Ryuk. Ryuk was an amazing character. William Dafoe, if you don't know who William Dafoe is, please move out of that rock you've been living under. But William Dafoe has played in famous roles, more notably his role as Green Goblin in the original Spider-Man movie by Sam Raimi. But William Dafoe plays Ryuk. Ryuk is CGI in this movie, of course. We are in 2017, of course. But Ryuk is amazing. Him as Ryuk was legit, sinister, scary. That was the highlight of the show. L. So they made L into a black guy. Now, me being black, you would think I'd be happy about this, but it is what it is. I'm really trying to take this movie as its own thing, but it's very difficult when they credit the Shonen Jump anime slash manga in their credits. So at that point, I'm like, okay, I kind of have to hold it to the high expectations. It's very difficult. But going into this movie, you have to have your own interpretation. With that said, the guy who played L did great. He was, in the beginning, he was very fleshed out. He kept his persona of L from the anime and the manga, of course, eating candy and stuff like that. His intellect was very noticeable. His speech patterns was reminiscent of the L from the anime and the manga. So that was a plus. The Death Note itself, it was okay. The rules were pretty much exactly the same from the anime and the manga. The book did look a little different. And you have some of the a lot of people's acting was well done. William Dafoe's voice acting, L's actor, he did an amazing job in the beginning as far as his method acting and whatnot goes. The soundtrack for the movie was pretty well done. And you know what? The visual effects, and the only reason I'm going to say the visual effects is because of Ryuk. Another pro, the gore. One thing that this movie did not shy away from was the gore. I'm talking people jumping off of buildings, heads exploding, people getting decapitated, guys getting run over by SWAT vans, people shot. It was very... It didn't shy away from the gore, which is one thing that I was afraid it would do. So that was that. Another pro, which they kind of kept from the anime, was Kira's worshippers. Excuse me. Kira's worshippers in the anime were very out there. They even went so far in the movie, the American movie, to put the website from the anime that his worshippers created. So as to give Kira his victims, I guess. So you have that. Now the cons. And yes, the pros it was a very short list, but the cons, I hate to say, are even longer lists. So in the beginning, I keep using that word because the beginning of this movie was it was okay. It was good. I was engaged. However, after the first maybe 20, 30 minutes, I started to kind of lose attention towards the movie. Remember when I was talking about L? I kept using the words in the beginning. That's because L kind of lost character for me towards the end of the movie. He started freaking out a lot and kicking down doors and trying to shoot people and stole a cop car. And these were things that weren't within L's character, I feel like. It just didn't feel like L to me. In the beginning, it did. In the beginning, he did this. He even did the iconic L sitting pose. but towards the end of the movie, it was like he was a completely different person. He even did the little hunch that L does from the anime and the manga, but towards the end, it was a completely different person. So with that said, that kind of threw me off. Another con, Ryuk. Now I know what you're thinking. Ryuk, I said, was pretty much the highlight of the movie, but at the same time, he really didn't have any screen time. I feel as though that is a con. Ryuk, if he would have had more screen time, I would have been more engaged in the anime and the manga. Ryuk, he was he had a lot of screen time. He was pretty much L's or not L's. He was Light's devil on the shoulder. Matter of fact, he was the devil and the angel because he really didn't play sides. So that was that. I mean, Ryuk kept his little apple eating fetish or whatever, but I wanted to see so much more of Ryuk. I really did. I feel like that was something that they missed out on. Another con, and this is probably the biggest one, I feel as though that this shouldn't have been a movie. I feel as though that this should have been a series. Kind of like how Daredevil, Luke Cage, Iron Fist, Jessica Jones does, where they're like 40 something minute episodes and they're like maybe 12 or 14 episodes long. You could have did 2 seasons, maybe even 1 season, and you could have covered the entire anime in maybe 1 or 2 seasons. You know what I'm saying? Maybe no, 1 season you could have covered the anime because Death Note, the anime was maybe 25 minutes long and it had 2 seasons runtime. So yeah, with 40 something minutes long, close to 50 minutes per episode, you could have covered the entire anime in 1 season. I feel as though they dropped the ball on that. I wanted to see more Ryuk. I wanted to see the other Shinigamis like in the anime. I wanted to see N, M. I wanted to see a lot of people that just didn't make the cut. And it when you watch the movie, you're going to notice that it seemed rushed. It really did. They were jumping. I mean, from like it was time skips that they didn't really explain. They went from Light finding out the Death Note to him writing his first name, and then from the first name, it jumped to him pretty much on board. Like he was like, okay, yes, I'm doing this. It was to squeeze all of season 1 into an hour and 40 minutes was not the best choice in my opinion. So I mean that was that. The people's acting. Okay, Light's girlfriend. Her name was Mia. Now, I don't need to say what her name is in the anime because pretty much everyone knows it. I'm trying to avoid saying obvious things. But Mia, in the movie was very irritating to me. She's a big con on my list. She, it was cringeworthy. Like she did a lot of things that I knew what she was trying to do. She was trying to make herself seem like the creepy, obsessive type of girlfriend, but at the same time crazy. And I feel like I'm about to sneeze, so if I sneeze, I apologize. Okay. But it was weird. I mean, I knew what she was trying to do, but it seemed forced, and as an actress or an actor, your job is to make it seem natural. It really seemed forced, and she looks very familiar. I just can't remember where I've seen her from. But with that said, I wasn't feeling her character. Towards the end, she tried to force Light to give her the Death Note because she wrote his name in it. And in my head, I'm like, okay, I mean, there are other ways you could have gone about doing that. I mean, but sure, we'll try your way. Um, so that was very strange to me. She, of course, ends up dying. Light does this whole intricate thing that's very reminiscent of when in the anime, Light went and he actually turned himself in to try to prove himself. But before he turned himself in, he set up these chronological events that basically the killings would continue. So L would kind of lose suspicion of Light. In the movie, he kind of did that, but it was like an end of the movie type of thing. It was like a third act type of thing. And I caught that, and it was a nice little nod to the anime. But that's how she died. Light ended up controlling pretty much everything from the end of the movie or the last middle half, last, I don't know what I'm trying to say. The last middle half of the movie up until the end. He controlled pretty much everything. And another con, I feel like they didn't play on Light's intellect. He's obviously smart. His dad mentions it a couple times in the movie, but they didn't play on his intellect. In the anime, Light and L, the one thing that I loved about the anime was that it was different from other anime in the sense that it wasn't action. Like it wasn't like martial arts, mech suits, or ninjas running around, or people with, hollow forms or Super Saiyans. It wasn't like that. Death Note anime was very unique in the sense that it made you think and it made you wonder, well, wow, what is he about to do that's going to get him off the hook or stuff like that. And that's what drew me into Death Note. It was very different. So with that said, they didn't really do that in the movie. In the movie, Light and L had an interaction slightly similar to the anime, but it was very awkward. Like L just showed up, and I don't know. It was very strange. I just wish they would have gave us more on how smart Light really is. So that. Um, it also another con is it also seemed like they tried to incorporate Japanese elements into the American iteration. It just didn't mix well for me. Like they had Watari in there. Watari, he was okay. He was a good actor. Really didn't see much of him. But they, like for example, they had to change Light's last name to Turner. It was strange because like you named your kid Light. Like I know what they're doing. They had to keep his name Light. If they didn't, it would have been a whole new character under the same title, Death Note. But because they kept his name Light, but this is America, it was strange. Like it just threw me up. It was very strange. I mean, other than that, the movie as a whole didn't do it for me. So with that said, being more cons than pros, I'm gonna try to incorporate a 0 to 5 rating system now in my videos. So Death Note, original Netflix series, gets from me 9 till Naruto 17, and this won't be as long next time. I completely promise you. It gets from me. I want to give it I want to give it a 2.5. I'm gonna give it a 2.5 out of 5. Ryuk was good. L was good in the first third of the movie until he started freaking out at the end. Because even in the anime, when Watari, kicked the bucket, L didn't. He didn't freak out like that. So it. That's pretty much it. I mean, there's really no other. It's nothing else I can say. It's nothing else I can say. Netflix, you've had some hitters in the past. This, however, is not one of them. As a very big fan of the anime with the entire box set from issues 1 to 12 and the extra 13th issue, I am kind of disappointed. And like I said, I know I should be keeping this as its own thing. I'm really trying. I really am. But again, they have big shoes to fill. So it's just like, for example, judging Jared Leto's Joker because you're trying to say Heath Ledger was such a great Joker. Jared Leto should be great as well. So you have high expectations naturally. I know this is the American iteration. I know. But at the same time, they are working with source material that they could have incorporated more of. And they could have done it better. So with that said, I'm out. Thank you guys for watching. I'm sorry I have not been looking directly into the camera, but the glare off my phone, I have a really bad headache, and I'm trying not to really stare at the glare because it's making my eyes strain. But with that said, I will see you guys in the next video. I don't know what my next review is going to be. I'll probably watch Voltron. I'll probably watch that and probably rewatch the Death Note series as a whole and do it like that. So with that said, thank you guys for watching.